What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of On the Ridge Podcast, a podcast for roofers by roofers. We're trying to reshape roofing talk in Tennessee, so from tips to tails, we've got your roof covered. My name's Dalton, one of your hosts. This is Jace, and this is Colin, and today we actually have a special guest with us who happens to be my younger brother, Braden. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Another day.
Yeah.
Another day,
Just
another
living.
dollar.
Just living.
So, Braden, tell us about your week, buddy.
Well, starts off on Monday, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, hold on. Before we get, what do you do?
Yes.
Let's talk about that too.
I'm a lineman.
A lineman.
I
How's
work
that?
in-
For like the Titans or what?
No, power lineman. We're on power lines.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is going to be great.
What was the question?
What do you do, Braden? What is your job? Your occupation?
As I said, I'm a lineman, power lineman.
Okay.
Not an offensive lineman or anything like that.
What's a normal work week for you, buddy? Like what is an entailment of a lineman for people that maybe don't know what that is?
Honestly, you'd be surprised, but it's a lot of sitting around
Really?
where I'm at. You get a job, you go to pick up the poles, 2, 3, however many you have, really, and you haul them to the job site, and you got to have locates so you can dig. And
Okay.
dig the hole, set the pole, and then you transfer everything over. Move the wire, service wires, which feeds the house, gives the house power, transformer, street lights. Pretty much anything on the old pole has to be transferred to the new pole on
Okay.
pole change outs. There's different kinds. You have reconduct crews, you have substation. It's really endless,
Yeah.
the things that we can do.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of like TikToks and like Instagram reels of like the dudes flying from helicopters.
Yeah, that's
What is that?
That's transmission.
Transmission?
Yeah, so that's like TVA, like the big companies that distribute power throughout the whole state
Okay.
or multiple states. Like TVA is in Tennessee. Tennessee Valley Authority is what it stands for. So Tennessee, Alabama, the big ones.
Okay. Gotcha.
Nice.
So of course you got the guys doing the helicopters, right? Which is cool as shit. Like I
Yeah,
always see that.
dope.
I'm like, I want to do that.
It's dope.
So do they like drop them onto like big, I guess, power lines or like the big? I don't know what they're called. But how does that? Where do they take them?
So if you're ever driving down the interstate and you see like the big towers,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do they drop them
what
on
are
there? or
those?
something?
What are those called?
transmission towers.
Transmission towers?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
The more you
So
know.
whenever you're getting flown out on a helicopter, you usually have either, depending on what kind of structure you're going to, you'll have a ladder that you hook onto it, and then you unhook from the helicopter, and they leave you until you're done.
Oh, so they just hover you there and you
Yeah.
like do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've never done that. I'd like to, so I don't know much about that, but I'd like to
Okay.
get to know.
Good money.
Yeah,
Really good money.
It's
And
all that is union work.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Union work. And then those guys I've seen also that I seen something on Instagram, like this dude he climbed a big tower to change the light bulb. Is that
No,
something y'all would
that's
do? Or is that a
you're
different?
talking about like the ones at night where you just see them flashing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the same thing.
Oh, okay.
That's solely for like airplanes.
Airplanes. Yeah, I didn't know if that like
That pays really well too.
yeah, I heard he's like
Um,
makes one climb, makes like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Which is
$20,000 a climb, I believe.
Nuts.
You do 2 or 3 a year. I think it's a little bit more than 20 actually.
Really?
That'd be the side hustle of a century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that sucks. I mean, I've climbed up some pretty tall ladders, but that looks like it'd take it out of you.
I think climbing up would be the hard, or climbing up is obviously going to be hard, but climbing down
Downs.
is definitely the hard part.
Really?
If I were to do it, I've always said I would bring a parachute and just parachute off.
Just jump.
Just jump.
Just base jump it?
Yeah.
The man just said, "Yeep."
That'd be nuts.
Somebody clip that.
Dude, base jumping off of a transmission tower. Could you pull that one off?
No.
Bro, you'd
It'd be
spot like a bug.
I don't know.
It'd be way too dangerous.
I'd do it. No, I'm kidding. There's no way. You could give me
So
to do
what do
that.
you do on like a daily basis? Like y'all do a bunch of pole change outs, stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm on a pole change-out crew. We usually do anywhere from 3 to 6 poles a week. Like I said, we'll get the poles in the ground, and then we'll set our trucks up, cover up, make sure everything's safe, and then move the wire over. That's really the most dangerous part, is moving the live wire while you're in the air. You gotta go slow, have it controlled, because I mean, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I've
sure. Oh, sorry. I'm pretty sure Braden was top of his class when you trained, right?
I did graduate top of the class.
Honor man.
Really?
Honor man guy.
Hey, wait a
Who
second.
would have thought Braden, out of anybody, would be top of
I
the
mean,
class?
Hey, you ain't telling me nothing.
Wow.
He's my little brother.
We did this thing called a rodeo, and they do big ones across the country, like to compete. But mine was obviously small. My class was only 10 people. So
So it
we
really
had-
didn't take a lot to be the top guy.
no, they were trash anyways. So we had like 4 events that we did, and I placed in first in all but one. So, and I only missed the last one by like 10 seconds, and it was climbing an 80-foot pole, and I did it in 58 seconds. I got beat by 48 seconds, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what
whole
the
10
winning
seconds.
number is.
Mm.
Yeah, I had to do the math. I'm sorry.
Jay,
Well,
That- I
first
mean,
year
that's a
last-
lot of time, though.
Slow.
10 seconds climbing a pole.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because like the bigger the pole, like the taller, the wider it is at the base, but the skinnier it is at the top.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
once you get to the top, you have enough room in your climbing belt where you can put your whole arm through. And like if you were to fall, you're falling until your belt catches you.
Mm.
So
Oh,
it could
yeah.
be 15 feet, could be 30.
And when you're way up there, I'm sure you just
Yeah,
like
and
the-
waving
sway a little
back
bit.
and
Any
forth.
movement, the pole starts to sway.
Dude, I've seen those videos on Instagram and stuff. Like guys are just like trying to get back down, and then they just slip all the way down, and then they just looks like their back snaps or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, they get caught right at the bottom.
Yeah.
It actually happened to me one time. I fell about 15 feet.
Oh, tell us about that. What?
So we were actually practicing for the 80-foot poles, just trying to get our time faster. So we would go up, we'd climb the 40s. We'd go 40 up, 40 down, 40 up, 40 down, because that's 80 feet up, 80 feet down. And on the second time coming down, I got about 25 feet off the ground, and I was just moving too fast, and my gaff completely slid out of the pole. I slid about 15 feet. I got a splinter in my neck, and I hit my nuts on the pole. It was the worst pain I have ever felt, I swear.
Splintering your neck and hitting your sack. What a guy.
I tell you what, I've climbed a couple trees. We got a couple buddies that cut trees, and one of them was teaching me how to climb stuff. Them gaffs, they suck at first.
Yeah.
Dude, you're getting your
they-
ankles and stuff used to them. It's not fun.
I think the worst
Whatsoever.
part is them rubbing your shins raw.
Oh yeah,
Because if you're like, when I was in school, we were on a pole for 10 hours a day. We got off for lunch, and that's about it.
on a
Or to
pole for
move from
10
pole to
hours
pole.
a day.
Yeah. I mean, we
Wow.
would just sit there and climb up and down, and we'd like get in our working position, stretch out. I mean, we were really just getting trained to know what to do while we're on the pole. But it sucked. It was rough.
Yeah,
But there's a big difference between lineman gaffs and tree trimmers gaffs.
okay, yeah, I can see that. They were just the tree ones. I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
The tree ones are actually worse because
Really? they weren't fun. I had them, and I was wearing a pair of Ariats with them too.
yeah,
And my buddy was like, "It's probably not." He said he used to climb with those, but he's got like some special boot now that he wears.
Yeah.
It's a lot more comfortable.
they make ones that come up to your like right below your knee, like a damn stripper boot.
I mean, yeah, talking about poles and
Talking
stripper
about
boots
poles.
now.
Hey,
Might as well.
old Braden's get on the poles.
Oh yeah,
I got him.
Hey, show
I
him
got
a couple things.
I got him one of those workman hoodies.
Oh,
for
yeah.
lineman.
Stripping for a living?
It says
No,
pole
cert-
dancing.
I am a certified pole
Oh.
dancer though.
Attaboy.
I have a certificate.
Hey, speaking of that, though, so like, what's the benefit of like, you were talking about like 48 seconds up, the 80-foot pole, like what is like
What
why?
good does that
like
do you
what
to be able
good
to
does that
ride
do
up?
you in the field?
In the field, nothing. In the field, you don't want to go fast at all. Slow is steady, and if you climb a pole fast in the field, you're going to move the wires. You're going to shake them, which gives it a better chance for the lines to go phase to phase down the line, which is not good. But in a rodeo situation, when you're competing, you want to go fast, and you don't have to worry about lines making contact with each other.
So it's just kind of for fun.
Yeah,
Kinda.
just to say you can do something.
That boy
Gotcha.
said, "Yeah, I can do it in 58 seconds.
58 seconds.
No biggie.
No big deal.
Less than 1 minute.
Was my goal.
That was your goal?
That was my goal.
That was my goal. Less than 1 minute. Made it just barely by 2 seconds.
Just barely.
So what? So I know you spoke about going to like you can do lineman stuff in the union,
Mhm.
right? What are kind of like the negatives and the positives of going to the union or going? I'm sure you work for a company, right?
Yeah,
Not
I work for a
technically
non-union company.
Yeah. What's kind of like the benefits and the negatives of both of those? Like why would you pick something or why wouldn't you pick something?
Well, I chose to go non-union first because one, you can move faster, like you can move up in the ranks faster than you could if you were union. Union, you get so much better benefits, but they can send you wherever they want, and you don't have a say in it.
Really?
Yeah. Working for a non-union company, you have a lot more leeway to travel, like go on storms and such. The only negative to working for a non-union contractor is the pay.
Really?
Pay and benefits. They don't match up. Nowhere close.
Which one's better?
Union.
Union work.
Union, yeah. Because you got to pay your dues through
Yeah.
the union, and the union provides you with your insurance. And they provide you a job too. Like the companies will, like when you work for union, when you're starting off, it's really hard to find a job because union contractors aren't always hiring, and they only hire union people. So given the fact that they're usually always pretty full, it takes a while to get a job, and it also takes a while to get into the apprenticeship through the union.
Yeah, I when I got out of the military, I was a steel worker. I was a welder, and I loved working with steel and hanging steel. Building skyscrapers has always been a big thing of mine ever since I was a kid. That's what I wanted to do. So I tried to join the Ironworkers Union in Nashville, and when I did that, they were like, we'll put you down, and they've got a stack of papers like this high of applications. He's like, you really have to sell yourself because I mean it's good money, but it's hard work, but it's good money. It's good pay.
I think in the long run, it's 10 times better to go union.
Really?
If you start off non-union just to get your foot in the door somewhere, get your feet wet, and then once you get some experience, I would say go union. That's my plan at least.
Yeah.
Because once you get your journeyman's card, you can go anywhere that you want.
So how?
And
also,
you don't even have to work a whole year. I mean, there's guys out there that work 6 months out of the year that make $250,000.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And then the other 6 months, they do whatever they want. Travel, vacation. I mean, it's really insane, like how much money you can actually make. And
Is that your goal? You want to be union one day?
yeah.
my buddy, he was kind of talking about that. He just graduated from God, what was that place? It's in Seattle. It's a commercial diving school. It's DIT is what it's called. And he was saying like some of those offshore guys he was talking about, they go offshore for 6 months.
Yeah.
They make $200,000 or $300,000, living in a bell or
And
right off the
it's
rig.
rough. That 6 months that you're working is rough.
Yeah, he was like, it's nonstop.
It's nonstop. Go.
Yeah.
But I guess it would pay off for the other 6 months when you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, go hunting, fishing.
Yeah.
Loving every day.
Loving every day.
I was waiting on it.
What so you go in, so you go to school, right? So you just went to a normal trade school?
No, there's trade schools specifically for like a line worker.
Okay.
I went to a community college that had a line worker program.
Oh, okay.
It was the cheaper option. It was the shorter option. and it worked. It just worked best for me.
So then you leave there as an apprentice.
Technically, yes, but you would leave there being able to get a job as a ground hand.
Okay, so you total bottom of the totem pole of the pole, right? Bottom of the pole.
Yep.
And then you would move into.
You'd start off as a ground hand, and if you're good at what you do, then
What?
People are
just
saying
like Braden's just like,
fellas, all right.
sorry. If you're good at what you do, you have the chance to move up pretty quick and become an apprentice. But when you're an apprentice, you're not technically supposed to do anything in the bucket or on a pole without a certified, like a journeyman up there with you. Because it's just safety rules, really.
They gotta hold your hand. Basically,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because that stuff is nuts. You
can't see electricity and it'll kill you.
Oh yeah,
touch the wrong wire and you're fried turkey.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yes.
So what would be okay? So say I know kind of an idea of what you're supposed to do, but I want to see what you say. So when you grab a pole and it starts shocking the crap out of you, what are you supposed to do? Like, what can you do? What does someone else do?
I'm pretty sure you're toast at that point.
Yeah, how do you fried turkey is Dalton was saying.
Fried turkey, boy.
Typically, like if you were to go to get into trouble on a pole, the first thing that you would want the people on the ground to do is kill the line. And typically, there's a switch that will kill the section that you're working on, and you can usually get to it pretty quick.
Yeah.
First thing you do before anyone else touches that pole, because if they were to touch the pole, they would also get electrocuted.
Yeah. So with that, I've heard that if you're seeing someone like getting absolutely fried, you just donkey kick them.
I've never heard.
You never heard that?
I've never heard.
I've heard
that.
like if they're
I
there,
don't want to try it now.
yeah, and they're just getting shocked, you just run up and donkey kick them, and it just throws them off the pole, and then you don't touch it because with your shoes on, your rubber soled, you just donkey kick them, and it throws them off the pole, and then you don't have to touch it.
I feel like that would
That's
be more useful in like being an electrician. Like if you were to get pulled into a fuse box or a panel. But on a pole is a little different.
Yeah, I don't think you want to donkey kick
Donkey kick somebody off a pole 30 feet.
out of a bucket truck or something.
That sounds like a gnarly Mythbusters episode.
Being in a bucket is different. In the bucket, you want to ground the truck.
Okay, yeah. Force ground in the truck. Gotta do that.
Yeah. And if you were to get in trouble while you're in the bucket, somebody would need to hop onto the bucket. But you can't have 1 foot on the bucket and 1 foot on the ground, because that's going face to ground. So you jump onto it completely, like leave the ground and jump onto the truck. Put on the dead man switch. That way you have the controls at the bottom half of the bucket and get them in the clear, get them on the ground, perform CPR if you got to. And then as somebody's doing all that, somebody's around the corner calling 911.
Have you ever been on a roof?
I have.
What's more scary, being up on a pole or up on a roof?
Being on a roof.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, being on
I
a
can see
roof
it.
that if you're not like harnessed in.
If it's, I mean,
Depends on the
That's-
size.
yeah, there's so many different types of roof, and
Like if you're like a real steep roof or a metal roof in the rain.
yeah,
A
that's
metal roof,
trash.
period, though.
Yeah.
Like, it takes nothing for you to just slip off.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we've all
a
seen
little bit of
videos.
pollen, you're done.
Oh yeah. I
A
think
little bit of Colin. No.
a little bit of Colin, just, yeah, make everyone pass out. If you're like on like a 412, like 5, that's not. I mean, anybody can get up there and do that.
Yeah.
I think. Like it's not. I remember the first roof I got on.
I remember the first
Yeah.
one he got on, too.
Yeah, that was.
He
was
got on there in some slick, like, wood bottom boots, and we were on a house, and it was like slat decking and also like OSB decking, and they had not tore out the front part of the shingles yet, and there was some frost on the roof.
Mm.
And Colin's going over there like just hobbling along like a penguin, like, oh shit, I'm about to fall.
Yeah, dude, I look like
Dude,
I was like a stick up my ass or
The-
something. Dude. It was,
the first
it was
roof.
so
I
stupid.
think I
because
told you that.
took
Yeah,
a
I
video.
definitely told you that,
He
yeah.
took a video of it,
That's
and he was like,
funny.
"Why he walking like that?" And I'm like, just
I
waddling.
mean, yeah, when you first start out depending on the roof. Like if it's one story and it's not steep, like which I would consider like anything below 612 not steep.
Yeah.
It just depends on the roof, but like when you're first starting out, it's definitely a new feeling. Like you're high up off the ground, you can see a lot around you, and you know that if you slip and fall, like there's a good chance you're going off the roof or the edge of the roof. But as you continue to work and get on more roofs, you get more and more comfortable. But that's where you got to be careful, it's because you've been on hundreds of roofs and you just think, oh, it's just another roof, and you catch yourself slipping.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Well, I mean,
Comfort will kill you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the
what's
same
the
for
word?
him too.
Put that on a
Pole
t-shirt.
dancing.
Comfort will kill you.
There's a word.
Complacency.
Complacency. That's it.
Hey,
Yeah, don't get complacent.
that is good.
Complacency.
We hear it all the time.
Yeah,
A
I'm
human
sure you do.
dictionary.
Complacency. No, we don't want that. Especially, walking on pretty steep roofs. Because I can walk 9, 12, 10, 12 okay with some cougar falls. Like I'm comfortable. But once you start getting too comfortable with those pitches and you slip, I mean you're not catching yourself.
I've got a
too, so-
question. What is the little pad that the guys use?
It's literally
The
a couch
cushion?
cushion.
A cushion from like Goodwill.
Yeah, it's from a
They
it's from
literally
a
tear it apart.
it's from a couch that they found on the side of the road that they stole and then cut the cushion out and have this pad in it. I mean,
Does it work?
yeah.
Oh,
Heck
perfect,
yeah,
it
dude.
works great.
Better than
it's-
anything
it
I've
grips
ever
So
done.
it's
everything,
like
Like
spongy.
on a shingle roof?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
spongy. So like it grips against the,
It's like
the
Velcro,
granules. Yeah,
basically.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
you should see them. They'll get on it too, and they'll like hop on it and slide down the roof.
The craziest thing I've ever seen while I was working for the roofing company that I worked for, I was just a material handler. So I would take shingles out to the jobs and drop them off. I saw when I pulled up to the job site, there was a dude on the roof, and he got on the ladder and he put both feet on the outside and his hands on the outside and slid
down.
all the way
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Never seen it before.
Really?
Bro,
Coolest
it's
thing ever.
crazy. It's like a magic trick, dude. Because don't get me wrong. I've
It's
tried
not
to do
easy.
it. Yeah,
It's
I've tried
not
to do
easy.
it. Like, but I ain't that good. So
The one thing that blew my mind was when I first saw was them grabbing OSB or plywood and just walking up.
carrying
it up,
Dude,
yes, dude.
Now,
I'm like, how
now
does
I
that
look at
work?
it, it's like, okay, whatever, that's normal. But the first time I saw that, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Have
there's
y'all
no
ever seen
way.
the video of the kid walking on the roof on the OSB with shingles on his shoulder and falling through the roof?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
has
has like 5 bundles of
Yeah, 5 or
shingles.
6 bundles on him.
And
just
you're
falls right through.
asking to fall through the roof at that point.
yeah, like if you're gonna walk anywhere besides like the actual ridge, yeah, buddy, you're going through. See ya.
What about, was that OSB old or new though? I mean,
It looked fairly new.
It just
It-
depends,
yeah.
man. I mean, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't
I mean-
have mattered even if it was new. I mean, especially though if it was old. But like being new with that much weight plus your body weight, yeah. See ya,
especially
And
if there's
especially-
no trusses underneath.
Yeah,
in
if
that
you're
area.
stepping in between the framing, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a lot of times, like if you see a 3/8 plywood,
Yeah.
yeah.
that real thin stuff,
Yeah.
you have to walk on the rafters because if you step in between the rafters,
You'll fall through.
your foot's going through, yeah, or you're going through,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean,
where you have to be really careful. But
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, you guys are skinny, but I'm a little fat. So
Skinny.
when I walk on a 3/8 plywood, I'm over here like, whoops. You hear it, you're like, hey boys, we got another piece to replace over here.
Damn it.
Brand new roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're,
Brandon
over, we're
walking-
over here shingling half the roof, and I just stepped through like,
Yeah.
whoops.
well, honestly, if you have 3/8 plywood on your roof, you probably want some new decking.
Yeah, just completely strip it and go down to
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Probably OSB 7/16.
Yeah. Going back to the like being on different roofs, my second day of work as a supervisor, I was put on a job in a house in the Governor's Club.
I remember that.
Massive house.
I just want everyone to know Dalton has this job because of me.
Whatever.
He's the only reason. So then, technically, the only reason I have my job is because of you.
Y'all
And
can
then
thank me.
going
Go
down
ahead,
the
go ahead.
line.
Just
going down the
So
line.
yeah, no, for real. Braden used to drive materials around. Would you work like 2 or 3 days a week?
No, I worked 5 days a week, but
2 or 3 hours a day?
no, I worked about 8 hours a day. But there was a lot of downtime. Like actually working, maybe 4 tops.
Hmm.
But there was
And
a lot
you
of
just
downtime.
you just grab materials from the shop and take it out to different
Either the
jobs?
shop or I'd go to ABC or Beacon
Hey, shout out to ABC and Beacon, dog. My boy Tommy over there at Beacon.
Tommy's a big boy.
And Zach, dog.
Tommy's a big boy.
Don't get me wrong, Tommy's a good guy, but
Tommy's got a tattoo on his
Yeah.
arm that looks like, when you're looking at it just plainly, you're like, what does that say?
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like a bunch
you can
of
walk
figures.
into Beacon, and Tommy will have your stuff ready too.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, he's
yeah,
a dog.
he's like, oh, you're back
He's
again?
always on top of it.
But his tattoo, like when you look at it, you got to focus in. It says Jesus, but it's like outlined in a weird
Yeah.
way.
It honestly looks like Arabic writing.
Yeah, it's
That's what it
weird.
looks
You
like,
got to
yeah.
do a double take.
What made y'all get into roofing? Well, I know what made you get into roofing. What about you guys?
I was in between jobs, and I saw Dalton post on his story a couple of different times on like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. He'd send me some crazy stuff, like him speaking about the Governor's Club. I remember calling him after I think he was actually on the roof that day. I called him, and he was like, "Dude, I'm out here on a Saturday grinding," and I was like,
The whole roof
You
was
wanted a
12,
piece of
12.
that, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted a piece of it. I wanted to see what the roofing money was all about. And about maybe a week and a half later, Dalton got me set up with a guy that we work with, I interviewed with, and the rest is history.
Yep.
Me, it wasn't even planned at all.
Oh, it wasn't planned. Boy, I as soon as you got out of the Navy.
Okay, so this is what happened, right? So I got out of the Navy and I started my own business, which
What kind of business?
it's a welding business.
Okay.
So I have a welding business too.
Tell the people, bro. Tell the people.
Get your company out there, man.
No, we'll keep that on the low key for now.
Okay.
Don't want anything like that. But
Tax evasion.
I know.
Jeez.
But yeah, so it was going. I mean, I made decent money doing it, but it was like here and there. Like it wasn't constant.
Consistent.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent, and it worked. And so I started blasting. So I blew up ground like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you got a buddy that does that, right? Or used to?
I did not, but I have a buddy that did it.
Yeah.
What company did you work for?
MDB.
Never heard of him.
Well, so yeah, we doing that, and then they were like, "Well, I heard from the grapevine that people were gonna go sitting down to Georgia for like 6 months,"
Mm.
and I was like, "I just got back home from the military. I've been gone for 5 years. I really don't want to do that." Meanwhile, before I had been talking to Jace about coming into the roofing game, and that whole ordeal happened, and I was like, "Hey, man, you still looking?" And they're like, "Sure, come on." And then I emailed everything to Dalton, and the rest is history. That's how I got into roofing. So
I mean, honestly,
Would
though,
you go
shout out to
back?
Braden.
Yeah, shout out to Braden, man.
Would you go back
go back to what?
blasting? Or, I mean, I know you still will, but what about blasting?
Yeah, I liked blasting. Blasting, it was cool. It was learning everything and stuff. It was just it was pretty easy. The worst part was just stemming holes.
Yeah. That's
All
what I've
the, all the
heard.
pea gravel. It's just backbreaking because you're carrying on 5-gallon buckets. Could be if you don't have a skid steer to move all the pea gravel around. You're walking
Yeah, when your loader driver just doesn't want to help you out.
5-gallon buckets of pea gravel, 100 yards just to fill a hole. Got to go back, do it again. And I mean, there could be anywhere from 15 holes to 1,500 holes.
Yeah.
And it's just super. I mean, it's mindless, but I mean, it wasn't bad. That's more of like a labor kind
Yeah.
of deal. That's what I was when I first started. And then of course you'd go into like,
You can only go so far in blasting from what I know. You're
Yeah.
labor and then you're the blaster.
yeah. I mean, you can go like management too, but yeah, it's like
Yeah. I want to be the guy that presses the red button and blows stuff
that would be
up.
the blaster.
The blaster.
It's actually a cord. You pull a
Oh,
cord.
really?
Yeah, it's not like a button. It's got like this. I don't know what it's called. I never got that far. I worked there for like a month or two.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm over
Colin,
this.
Colin immediately calls me. He's like, "Hey, y'all hiring still?"
Hey, you remember your first day on the job?
Yeah, you made me your bitch. You literally sat there, and I'm over here. So I come into the office. There's an old guy that works with us, and he goes, "Hey, Dalton, who's that cocksucker with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, all right." And so then we got into the field. We go to a job in like Mount Juliet or something, and
Yeah, we were doing a townhome complex.
yeah, townhome complex. That was the first roof I ever got on.
Yeah.
Started doing some work. Well, Dalton has probably, I don't know, 25, 30 sheets of OSB in the back of his truck. He's like, "Hey, man, I need you to unload all this." And I was like, me being the first day on the job, I'm not going to be like, no. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, no, I'm not.
No,
doing
you
that.
listen to me. You unload that OSB
Yeah.
right now.
So basically, that was like my first interaction with like OSB. I'm over here like struggling, trying to figure out how to get out of the truck. It's like no one showed me. Is like whatever.
How to sling it up and carry it over
how
your
to
head.
sling it.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting splinters left and right because no one gave me gloves. Shout out to Dalton. But
Hey, bro, you
I actually have a story about gloves, but keep going.
yeah, and I mean that was pretty much it. And then after I got all the OSB off, Dalton proceeded to tell me that we needed to paint some pipe boots, and we probably painted. That was to this day was probably the most pipe boots I've ever painted. And Dalton just looked at me the entire time I
Watched.
did it.
Painted
he
the
did
wrong
not. He
color.
did not. I mean, he
Hey,
might
man.
have painted like one strip of a pipe.
no,
boot.
He was
I
a boss,
showed
not a
him.
leader.
I showed him an example.
He was the boss, even though he started like.
I
2
wasn't
weeks
even his
before I
boss.
did.
He was a
were-
boss, not
we
a
were
leader.
both
We
supervisors.
were both pretty much equals because he started 2 weeks before I did.
Yeah.
But
You also hit your head on the lull.
Yeah, I hit the heck out of my head on the lull. I'm pretty sure I still have a dent in my head.
that's what's wrong with him.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure
that's
it out.
it.
That's it.
Oh, okay, Colin. Don't even get me started.
Don't get
with
him
some
fired up. You gonna
bullshit.
come across
Yeah,
that table.
Fired up.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna take off this headset and go to town on your ass.
I'd like to see that.
I got Colin. Honestly,
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you got Colin?
Colin's a dog.
Yeah, he's
Bro,
pretty
I'm
stout.
about to wax off the rest of the hair on his head.
No, but the glove thing.
solid transition.
Yeah, let's get off my bald head. I don't know why I thought of this with the gloves or Dalton not giving you gloves, but when we were freshmen in high school, we all played football on the freshman team. I stole Dalton's gloves every game.
he didn't need him
I wasn't
anyways.
playing. Yeah, I wasn't playing. I was like,
he was
Oh,
5'2",
riding the bench?
$120.
no, I wasn't even. I was like 90 pounds, bro.
You look
was
Still
at
like
tiny.
90 pounds.
I played like 2 snaps in a JV game at the
Got
end of the
rocked.
season.
Millie rocked.
You look at us like in the film. You watch us run out. Dalton's got his black Nike gloves on, and then you see me run out too. I'm not wearing any gloves. He's got them on, and then you see the game going, and he's got his hands in his shoulder pads, and I'm wearing his gloves. It was every game.
Every single game.
And Grant, like Colin wasn't much bigger than Dalton back then either.
No, I mean I'm
Yeah.
still pretty much
He's
same
probably, I
size.
think
yeah.
he's like the same size.
yeah. I haven't grown in a while,
but he was stout.
Colin
he
stopped
could run the
running in
ball.
5th grade.
yeah, I was a fullback.
Colin's a legend at Mount Juliet High School.
I mean, he really is. I mean, we're in the presence of greatness.
A white-
I don't know,
Marshawn Lynch, but shorter.
but shorter. And he didn't eat Skittles. So
Yeah,
I do love Skittles.
hey, I know
more
I'm
like
gonna
than
get
you
got,
think.
but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though.
shout out.
Listen to him.
Run
Some
through
of his
my
interviews
face.
are hilarious. I love listening to him talk because they're. I mean,
My
borderline.
favorite Marshawn Lynch moment is him driving around on the med cart.
Oh, in the golf
Oh,
field.
without a
When he was in
doubt.
college.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah. He's a dog, man.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, it was good. But my favorite one, it's not Marshawn Lynch. That's Alvin Kamara.
okay.
When they won that game, and he just takes off back in the locker room after he scores. He runs right through the end zone back in the locker room.
Forrest
Just-
Gump.
You seen that? It was funny.
that was when he was in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a college game.
No.
Braden, I got a quiz for you.
Oh, I'm not good at quizzes.
All right, I'll make a deal with you. Which you actually owe me money, but we'll
This is to
We don't-
deduct
we
from
don't
the
speak
money
of
you owe
this.
me.
yeah,
don't
I'll
speak of
deduct
that.
it from your balance, and I'll invoice you later. But
Taxing him.
however many roofing terms you can name off in 30 seconds,
Oh,
I will give you that many dollars. Let me get a timer going here.
hold on. It's been a minute,
You want
man.
me to count
He's
it?
thinking right now. Hold on. Yeah, Jace, you
Like,
keep
what do
counting.
you mean?
3,
Exactly. Whoa,
2.
Pause.
Wait,
Pause.
I gotta get some rules. Okay.
I gotta
Roofing
get the counter. I gotta
terms.
get the counter.
So like material, what things on the roof are called,
Yeah,
stuff
different
like that.
areas of the roof. Any term that's related to roofing.
I'm not gonna do good. It's been 2 years since I've done roofing.
Well,
Well, that sucks.
see how it goes.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Hey, and if you can't name any, then you pay me $5.
Or what we could do, I like that. Or we could give him terms and he has to explain it what he thinks it is.
We can do whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your money, Dalton, that he owes you.
No, I want to make him guess.
Okay,
let's
let's
make
this.
do
Now-
that then.
Now, Jace is going to keep track of what he says or how many he says, and then after we'll see if he knows what it actually
Okay,
is.
deal.
Let's rock.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I guess.
Take a deep breath.
I'm good.
3.
How much time do I have?
30 seconds.
Oh, hold on.
30
that's,
seconds.
That's 3 minutes. 1 second.
It's a long 30 seconds.
All
5
right.
minutes in.
3, 2, 1.
Cap nails, OSB, ice and water, shingles, gable, I think.
Started off strong.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Ridge. I don't know.
Nice.
Oh,
I mean, that's
It's almost
that's
like
the name of the
it's
podcast.
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
He got 6.
$6.
$6 off the total of what?
There's a lot.
$7 grand.
There's a lot.
How much he owes me? I don't know. I'll let you tell him that.
$7 grand. Said you owe me 30 for that
there's a
Harley outside.
backstory. Okay, I borrowed some money from him a while back. It took me about a year or so to pay him back.
Jesus.
So
What'd you need to pay your house?
he,
He
it was actually a
rear-ended a
ticket.
Tesla.
It was a ticket. Yeah, I had to pay for a ticket.
Dalton's gonna borrow money for a year for $10.
It was rough.
$25
times.
parking ticket.
Times have changed, but now it's
and
taken him. What is it? A year and a half now?
I
Are you just
ended
trying
up-
to one up me or what?
I ended up getting tight on some money while I was in school because I couldn't work.
Okay.
I would work here and there on the weekends when I could find work. So I got tight on some bills and Dalton helped me out. But yeah, I'm like almost at 2 years now.
I'm about to start
Owing
charging.
him money. I was about to say.
And
He just got his
I
red
don't-
truck back, wrecked it, and then.
And it's not that I can't pay him. I just
He don't want to.
he's neglecting
He's
that
sitting
bill.
on it.
He's like, oh, it's family.
I'm
It'll be
sitting
fine.
on it. He's good.
Nah, he's cool.
Yeah, he pulls up in that. That's
He's
a nice
cool.
Harley you pulled up in. Though, I really like
Maybe
Appreciate that.
That's
man.
where all his money went.
Yeah,
Was
that for real.
Harley?
The money
Was
that he owes
That
you
and
is in
my
that
truck
bike.
that I just totaled
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened there?
in the snow, man. I was going to play in the snow.
Going to play.
You going to play?
Not the bar, not the gay bar.
What? No one even thought that, bro.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's real sus.
Yeah, that's kind of sus.
But
And I was driving. I was going like 30, and I started sliding and hit a guardrail. But I was very close to saving it. So whenever I started sliding, I was sliding into the left lane into oncoming traffic. So I cut my wheel all the way right.
In
and
the
I just-
oncoming traffic.
I just stomped on it, trying to slide out of it. And I started sliding back towards the right side of the road, and my driver's side bumper clipped the guardrail and slung my front end back in and spun me around.
I'm pretty sure Braden's totaled that truck like 4 times.
I've no.
This time he actually got money for it.
That's funny. That's too funny. Wait,
I only
He
wrecked
never-
it once, Jace.
he never
And it
explained
wasn't
the
my fault.
terms.
I feel like it's always been in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
He never explained the terms.
What terms?
Yeah.
The terms
you want to do
yeah.
that? You want to do that?
What do you say? Cap nails, OSB. Cap nails, OSB. A shingle.
Ice and water,
A shingle.
shingles,
Ice and water. You said
ridge,
ridge and
Gable,
gable.
gable.
Yeah. What are cap nails?
Things you hammer the damn ice and water in with.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
That's
sorta. Ice and water self-adhered.
Yeah. You don't
It's a
really need
sticker.
to. You don't really need to
Oh, what is the what's the other one then?
underlayment.
Synthetic papers. That's what it is.
Underlayment, yeah.
Hey, we
So-
actually have it back here. You could have just looked.
What's tell me what a gable is.
I honestly don't remember.
No idea. $1 deducted.
I don't remember. man.
$5.
Show me.
I know what it looks like.
Do you?
Probably not, honestly.
Look behind you.
This is a gable.
That's a gable roof. And the ridge is at the
Is
top
at the
of
very
that.
top. Where everyone hangs out.
Yeah, and just
Fun
bullshit.
fact.
The peak.
Both- That's yeah.
The peak.
The peak.
That's
No.
good. I mean,
Yeah, if
mean,
you were
no.
like a 75-year-old dad that's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
There's a peak.
Wait, I got some controversy. Obviously, we all call it a roof.
Roof.
A roof. Have you guys ever said a roof?
I've never said roof.
It-
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
always
heard
called
people
roof.
say
It makes me mad
I hate it.
I
when somebody
don't.
says
I don't.
roof.
I don't get mad over that. Like or like wash or wash. Like Bro,
My mom says wash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just saying like
no,
roof or
some people think
whatever you
it's
say.
actually like you have to
Woof?
say roof.
like a dog woof.
Roof. Yeah. or those
Bark like a dog.
dude, we had like a week or two. We had like a week or two span of time where we talked to probably 5 or 10 different people that called their chimney a chimley.
Bro,
Chimney?
Chill.
Bro.
Where does that come from?
I don't know.
don't
I think
know.
it's just a speech thing. I had one guy,
Speech impediment.
something. So he had this vinyl chimney, and then there was a tarp around it, right? And we were doing his roof. There was no businesses of us being anything with the chimney, with the top of the chimney cap. We really didn't do anything with that. It was like 14 feet up in the air. And the guy was so mad because he was like, someone told me that we can, he called it a gentleman's touch on his chimney cap.
Oh yeah.
Chimney.
Oh,
On his
yeah.
chimney cap. And I was just like, so we're not out here to do that. I mean, we can try to take a look at it, but it's not really, I don't want to start getting into something and then we end up breaking it. We're not supposed to do it. It just goes into more issues.
Scope of work.
Yeah, right. Stay in the scope of work. And every time he'd come out and say something, he's like, "Hey man, how about that chimney cap up there?" And I was just like, "Yeah, we'll see what we can do if we got time. We may think about it." Yeah, I don't want to be like, "No," right? So then he starts getting pissed, and I'm sitting here listening to him, and he kept saying chimney cap, and it took so much of me. It was just like, it's chimney, buddy,
Yeah.
not chimney, and I just couldn't look at him straight in the eyes and. He looked at me just chimney.
Jace
chimney, like
Jace
chimney?
has
Straight
a
face.
Jace has a
Chimney.
picture of a homeowner standing in his attic, and they pulled a piece of OSB off to replace it. And dude, we gotta find it. We have to
Yeah,
find
I
it.
gotta find it. He's
But
got a
it's
hard hat
it's
on.
this guy- it's this guy wearing a hard hat in his attic, just like
He was
peeking
just-
up through the roof, looking.
Yeah, I'm like, hey buddy,
Standing there waiting.
you're right.
He's just looking, bro. He sat in
Yeah,
a
dude.
lawn chair all day and watched them roof.
With a hard hat on?
Yes.
Outside or like in his
outside.
attic?
But
Bro,
imagine-
back and
he would have
forth.
thought
Oh.
we were like downtown Nashville, like with this guy with this hard hat.
Imagine just taking the de-shingling the whole roof, pulling up a piece of bad plywood, and there's just an old man with a hard hat looking up at you in a like lawn chair. Just, bro,
What you doing, buddy?
What do you say?
Yellow.
You guys need water?
Hey, man.
Hey,
Whenever-
sir, can I
Is it
help you
hot
with
up there?
anything?
Whenever we have people in our work zone that are like that, we kick them out.
Really?
Wait, I think
Yeah.
y'all got to. You have like a safety box,
Yeah, safety zone.
safety zone.
And if you're not wearing proper PPE, we got to kick you out.
Mm.
Like the other
Yeah.
day, we had a lady come in the work zone, and she was mad because one of the ground hands told her that her power was going to be out for like an hour.
Mm.
When typically we're supposed to tell them anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, just to give us more time. That way,
Mm.
if we finish early, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But it had been 2 hours, and she was pissed.
Mm.
She came up, and me and my lineman were up in the bucket, continuing to work out, like trying to finish up the pole. And I can just hear her screaming at my foreman, and it was bad. Like my foreman told her off and kicked her out.
That's crazy.
I understand someone getting mad, like, "Hey, your power's going to be out for an hour," and then it be 3 or 4 hours. Like, I understand them getting mad, but what they need to understand is things happen, and it could go.
take
It
longer.
can take a bit longer. We're working on it. We're not just going to leave you out in the.
And
In
the
the
more they
guts.
ask, the longer it's going to take.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
they
more-
just,
they're just
more-
wasting time.
just
yeah.
taking time off of what you're doing to explain to this person, "Hey, it's going to be a second. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but we're working and we're trying to fix this," because you can't even with roofing, anything, any trade really. When you don't know what's exactly under it, you can have a good idea, damn good idea. But once you start dissecting everything, it's like, oh, this could be a little worse than I thought. It may take a little longer.
Yeah. And like on a normal like work week, we don't really deal with stuff like that. But whenever we work a storm,
Mm.
it's nonstop.
Oh yeah,
Nonstop.
That's no fun.
yeah.
We don't let people get on the roof using any of our equipment. If they want to get on the roof,
Yeah,
they got to
these
use their own ladder.
Yeah.
Which
And
I've
they're
had many
it's
times.
their problem. So,
I have people quite often, or when I was like a manager of a job site, guys you just see this extra ladder right next to yours. You're like, whose is this? And then you just see the homeowner walking up on the roof. Like, oh, hey, buddy, what's up?
It's a little not
What is-
safe up here.
It's good.
What is storm restoration like for y'all?
Mayhem.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
Same-
just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, storm comes in on the front end. It's a lot of tarp calls. So
Yeah.
shingles are blown off, trees are poking through somebody's roof, or just any kind of damage you can think of. And then, of course, around storm season, there's a lot of rain. So your roof's uncovered or you got damage. Now the stuff inside of your home is at risk of being damaged by a leak. So on the front end of things, it's a lot of tarp calls, a lot of spreading people out. We might be in Gallatin. I get a call and we got to go to Hendersonville or,
That's not a very far drive.
well, I'm just saying different locations.
Could be.
I'm going to come
Yeah,
across
but
this
I mean,
table.
yeah.
Wait till they cut these cameras, buddy. But no, a lot of it's like just tarp calls on the front end. You got to get guys out there, make sure they have paper, the underlayment or actual tarps. And you got to be able to hop up on the roof. If the damage isn't clear, like there's not a hole in somebody's roof, then you got to really look through the details of each shingle, each face of the roof, try and figure out where the water might be coming from. A lot of times a homeowner will be home, so if they already have a leak that's present, you can kind of go inside, see where it's coming from.
Get a good idea.
Yeah, you can get in the attic and see where it's coming and push a nail up through, and then that's where you get back up on the roof and know where to tarp. But that's a lot of what it's like on the front end of things. And then Colin, as the estimator, would go out and bid the job, and you got insurance that you got to deal with, and
What's that like? I bet that's rough.
ask him.
What, dealing with insurance?
Yeah.
Got to use the right
I'm going through it
verbiage.
right now, but I'm going through it with my vehicle insurance.
Yeah, it's a process for sure. I mean, I don't know, kind of. I do know their side, but I don't think I know enough to. I'm still learning it myself. So I'm fairly new to that world.
You know what I heard actually?
What?
That a lot of insurance companies are getting ready to change the way that they do things, and so there's talks about them amateurizing your roof. So if your roof is 20 years old, they're going to pay you this much or this amount, this interest, whatever. If your roof is 10 years old, it's going to be half of what that is.
Okay.
So I know right now it's kind of all over the place. Depends on the insurance that you have, whether they're going to cover this or that. Sometimes you got to fight with them on measurements, and they pull all their own measurements, and we pull all of our own. And if they don't match up, then we got to figure out where the difference is. You got to send them like material lists and costs. A bunch of pictures have to be clear so that the insurance sees that the work was done properly, so that they'll actually cover it. A lot of times they'll give you like the front end of the payment, and then once it's completed and they do all their investigation, we'll say.
Inspections?
Yeah, inspections, looking at pictures, following up, make sure everything was done. Then they'll release the rest of the money. But yeah, I've heard that the insurance is kind of leaning more towards going that other way, which would change quite a bit of things, I would say.
I mean, insurance is where the money's at. I mean, there's people out there that'll pay out of pocket for certain things like repairs or sometimes even full replacements. But insurance where the money is at.
I mean, you're basically guaranteed the money at that point with insurance.
It depends. I
Well,
mean,
if
I
if
feel
their
like-
adjuster comes out, it's like, hey, yeah, this is screwed. Yeah.
y'all ever seen that video? Was it State Farm agent? It was a roofer and a State Farm agent. State Farm agent had no idea what he was talking about. Not one bit. Didn't know a single thing about roofing. And the roofer was there with their manager and talking through. It was a viral video not too long ago. But they basically made State Farm look like idiots because the guy showed up and had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah.
And that's the case with a lot of insurance adjusters, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that. They just kind of get thrown
I
into
mean,
something.
they get a degree.
Not a lot of training.
They go to college, get a degree in some type of management or something, and then they've never had real world experiences. They've never worked with their hands. They don't really know. And I'm not trying to hate on them, but
Yeah, I definitely think college isn't as necessary that it has been.
yeah.
I definitely think that some things you definitely need to go to college for.
Yeah.
Being a doctor, lawyer. I mean, but
typical thing.
Yeah, but also I
We
don't.
have our college graduate and
Yeah.
our flunky here.
Yes. Congratulations, sir.
But I
I'm
also,
sorry I escaped debt free.
I also think that it's still.
I did too. I'm debt free, baby.
I also think it's still. I gave him the dirt. I was trying to talk. I also think it's still good to go to college if you can.
Yeah.
Right, because you go up. Yeah, you may not have real world experience, right? Like you don't have any hands on experience in that what you're trying to go for. But what you do have, is that piece of paper. But that piece of paper says you paid money to go to this school to learn
And
this.
the piece of paper
You
can
showed
get you
up,
some money.
You showed up. You sat in your classes. You passed them up, obviously. 'Cause you
Did your
read-
time.
Yeah.
Barely.
So I mean, it could also say like, "Hey, this guy's dedicated. This is what he wants to do."
Yeah.
Right. So
He's
that could be
capable
a
of it.
plus. Yeah. That
Yeah.
he's put the time in. He's took 5 years, 2 years, 6 years, however college
sure.
degrees work.
I just think from like going straight into the workforce pays off better in the long run.
I think so too.
I would say
I think you learn a
so.
lot
You
more.
get more experience, and
You don't
I
have-
think being good at interviews is huge.
Very big.
Yeah.
If you, I mean,
Sell
you could
yourself.
have all the degrees in the world, but you show up to an
If
interview.
you can't talk to
and-
somebody,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know quite a few people like that. They have like massive credentials, super smart, whatever else, but their interviewing skills are just talking to people like we are. It's just shitty.
personally, I think that's how an
Speak
interview
for
should
yourself.
be. I don't think you
I
should be
mean-
nervous in an interview.
I mean, it's just like you're talking. Like, I mean, if you just think about it, like, I mean, some people even say, imagine they're in their underwear, or something. Like,
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I said some people, you jackasses. I didn't say you guys. Okay.
I think the best thing in it going into an interview is confidence. I think that's anything with life.
Yeah.
Go in there with
Yeah.
confidence. Poke your chest out like a man. Keep your head up and
Yep.
walk like you mean.
And ask them good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, interview them as well. That's
Yeah.
big.
For sure.
That's big.
Yeah. Don't seem desperate.
I think a good question to ask in an interview or just any superior in general is, I always ask this to my superiors when I was in the military, like what it was. I forgot it on the tip of my tongue. What would be something that you wish you would have known when you were in my shoes to get me to where you are
Mm,
quicker, faster, a little better? What's something you wish you would have known?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people love that question when I ask them that. They're like, always, that's a great question.
Oh, no
Typically,
doubt.
if you don't ask questions after an interview, it never really works out well for you, from my experience at least.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in line school, we actually had a class on interviews.
Oh, really? That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool that they do that.
Yeah, they tried to give us every bit of experience that we could get, and it
Yeah.
worked. I mean, it helped out a lot. But in that class, I said typically, like if you don't ask questions at the end, it typically never works out good for you because it doesn't show interest.
Yeah. What's a good starting pay as a lineman around here in Nashville area?
This is a touchy subject
Really?
because
Is it so like is it different
Zinger.
everywhere?
Huh?
Like what's
It's
is it
different
diff-
everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say the Southeast, right? I don't know if it's like regional kind of maybe or like maybe.
everywhere but the company that I work for typically starts off at anywhere from $25 to $28 an hour.
So that's what
starting.
kind of looking in this area. What kind of starting get into that field would make?
If
right?
you work in Nashville, there's only one contractor on Nashville system. Well, technically there's two, but Elliott's only on streetlights. They're not doing actual poles and such. But my company starts off at $20 an hour, and then top out pay is like $42. Other companies around this area start off at 25 to 28, sometimes even 30, and go up to 50 into the 50s.
That's wild.
And you can move and go work pretty much anywhere you want.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities are endless.
Really?
Pretty good for a pole dancer.
Yeah, great for a bold answer.
Yeah,
Braden, have you enjoyed the podcast, man?
I was a little nervous at first, but nah,
Dude, it's been great.
I've enjoyed it.
I've been hanging out.
Yeah, man.
That's
we
a
really
good time.
appreciate you coming.
Did you learn
on.
something about roofing?
I'm surprised y'all didn't ask me more questions. Honestly, y'all did terrible.
Yeah, hey, if you
Cut
come
the
on,
cameras, Mitch. Cut the cameras.
Hey. if you come on another time, we'll make sure we grill you about pole dancing.
No, you did good though, man.
Is there any other questions y'all want? Like, I mean,
When are you gonna pay me back?
When are you gonna pay Dalton his money?
when I get my taxes back.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
taxes.
It is tax
Taxes
season.
back.
That's what.
Hey, when he gets his taxes back, he's gonna buy another truck. So,
Well, the most
I've got
important
an
thing.
insurance check on the way, man.
Did you learn anything about roofing? I know we talked a lot about what you do and just kind of hung out. And
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of a refresher for me. I never really did a lot of shingles. A lot of metal roofs, sheet metal roofs, because I built pole barns for quite some time.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
And never really had experience in shingles.
What
Like
would
doing
you
shingles.
tell somebody that wants to get into roofing with the little experience that you have? What would be your best advice for someone to get into roofing?
If somebody were to want to get into it, just starting getting into it, come with a good work ethic
There you
and
go.
want to learn.
That's good.
And that's with
I like
any
that.
trade, man.
That's good.
Yeah, that is across the board. Come in there, work every day, bust
Don't-
your ass.
Don't expect things to get handed to you either.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's big.
for sure.
Well, Braden, we've enjoyed having you, my friend.
Absolutely.
It was a great episode.
I
Thanks
enjoyed
for
it as
joining
well.
us.
Till next
Folks,
time.
Yeah, till next time. Thanks for joining us for another episode of On the Ridge podcast. We'll see you next time on the Ridge. Oh, and make sure, can't forget this part. Make sure you like, subscribe, email us if you have any suggestions or topics or even other guests that you would like to see on the show. And
jelly roll.
Ooh, that'd be
Jelly
good.
roll would be crazy.
You
dude.
gonna have are you gonna have any merch?
Yeah, we should get some merch, man.
Yeah.
We should get some
We'll
merch.
think about getting into that.
Later
sure.
on, just an idea.
We'll see you next time on the Ridge.
See you, fellas.
Adios.
Adios. We got to put that in there.